Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? And welcome to another edition of the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk about the New Orleans Saints. Well, grand opening, grand closing. If you have not heard, according to ESPN insider Adam Schefter, according to NFL insider Ian Rappaport, Dez Bryant had to be helped off the field. And doctors for the Saints are saying that Dez Bryant could have possibly tore his Achilles. You can't make this stuff up, man. You cannot make this stuff up, man. Dez Bryant is out for the season. Let's go ahead and break this down, okay? This all started on Monday. Think about the timeline of this. On Monday, there were reports to say that Dez Bryant was coming in for a workout. On Tuesday, it was said that Dez Bryant was in negotiations with the Saints. On Wednesday, Dez Bryant signed with the New Orleans Saints. On Thursday, he had his first practice with the New Orleans Saints. And on Friday, he is ruled out for the season. Man. I mean, this is like something that you see on TV instead of real life. But you got to feel bad for the man. You got to feel bad for Dez Bryant, a guy who's been out on the street for the last 10 weeks, looking for a job, couldn't find one, and finally he found the team only for him to tear his Achilles, man. That's a bummer. I don't care if you were a fan of Dez Bryant coming to the Saints or not. You don't want to see somebody go out like that. You would like to see a player of Dez Bryant's caliber go out on his own terms. So this is very, very unfortunate. And for all those Who Dat Nation members out there that are upset and mad that they went out and signed Dez Bryant to a contract and they feel like he took their money and what's going to happen, look, calm down, all right? He only got 1 year, $1.5 million. And his contract was wrapped in a lot of incentives. So it was basically like Dez Bryant had to play in order for him to get paid. So there's no harm, no foul there. But get well soon to Dez Bryant, and I hope he gets himself back, because I would like to see Dez Bryant, even if it's not in the black and gold, let him go out here and play and prove that he can still play in the National Football League. But the next question is on everybody's mind is, what's next for the New Orleans Saints? I mean, they just signed Dez Bryant, and you know that they had big aspirations for him. They wanted him to be a part of the offense to go alongside Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram and Drew Brees and put some points on the board. Now, the Saints really need a wide receiver. They need a wide receiver. They need one bad. Cam Meredith went on IR, but if you ask me, Cam Meredith went on IR weeks ago. We just didn't know anything about it. He wasn't out there making no plays. And to me, as of right now, Cam Meredith was a waste of money that the New Orleans Saints spent getting him out of Chicago. I don't think that he is the answer. I think that he was signed to be a possession receiver, but it didn't work out. So what do the Saints need to do? Who should they sign? Well, there were two wide receivers that came to work out as well. Kamar Akins, he is a former Baltimore Raven, and Brandon Marshall. These two guys had a workout, and they did pretty good from what I heard according to sources. But if I had a choice, I would call Brandon Marshall. I would call Brandon Marshall not because he's a bigger name than Kamar Akins, but because Brandon Marshall just a couple weeks ago was playing for the Seattle Seahawks, which means he's in football shape. No, he didn't go out there and produce the way that we know Brandon Marshall can produce, but he's still in football shape. I feel like he could learn the offense and he can contribute right away. Kamar Akins, I don't know that much about him. I do know that he's had issues with being hurt and not living up to his potential. I mean, when you're playing for the Baltimore Ravens, he had a couple good spots, but wasn't really doing anything for the team. I think the Saints need to call Brandon Marshall, and I feel like Brandon Marshall can contribute to the team. But once again, Dez Bryant is out for the season, and it's unfortunate for the Saints. And I don't think that Dez Bryant was going to play this week. But the Saints, they're going to have to sign somebody because teams are going to start double covering Michael Thomas. They're going to start taking him out of the game. They're going to start taking Alvin Kamara out of the game. And you have a lot of these teams in the NFC, they're trying to get better offensively. Just last week, we seen the Saints defense go up against 3 really good wide receivers for the Los Angeles Rams. I mean, you got Robert Woods, you got Cooper Kupp, and you got Brandon Cooks. Then you look at the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, they just signed Golden Tate, and they also have Alshon Jeffries. I mean, they got Zach Ertz. I mean, they got some guys that can really play on the offensive side of football. And all the Saints have is Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, and Mark Ingram. And you have Ben Watson, who can give you a good catch when you need one. But the Saints really need somebody to go out there and be able to move the chains besides Michael Thomas, because teams are really going to start cracking down on can't guard Mike. But what do you think about Dez Bryant being injured? Let me know what you think. Comment down below, like and share this video, and also subscribe to the State of the Saints podcast YouTube channel. Go to youtube.com, search the State of the Saints podcast. Hit that bell for notifications. Thank you very much for all your love and your support. This is the State of the Saints podcast. Till next time, all I have to say is, who dat?